Max with me, he the
DJ
wave. It's a
Chicken
big gap
Wing.
between us and the game. In the next life, I'm trying to stay paid. When I die, put my money in the grave.
Yeah.
Put my money in the grave.
Put it in the grave.
Gotta put a couple
Just
niggas in
put
they
the
plate.
money in the grave. Now, it won't be hard when I go because the money, it'll be like $1. So you can just slip it in my pocket. You won't have to act like dig extra, nothing. Just put that $1, take my money with me, and we're good. Man, how does that work? How does Drake, I mean, that was actually kind of a hard verse right there. But how the fuck does he do that? How is he the most popular rapper in the game? He's the most passive-aggressive person in the world. Like,
Yeah.
it makes
I
no
don't know.
sense.
He sounds good.
Fucking kills.
He's from
dude.
Canada,
I
so
love it.
everyone from Canada is just
It's
nice.
okay to be apologetic when you're from Canada.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Right?
Hey, welcome to the Bernie Dyke Podcast, Keegs Kota, episode number 4. We're here again, and we're never leaving. So, thanks for coming back, my friend.
Of course, man. I've been enjoying it, so I'm like, I look forward to when we come over Sundays mornings. I'm like telling Davina, hey, I got on Sunday morning, what time we got going on? I got to get over there. I'm going to do this, do that. So.
It's fun, man. Like, the first few times I was so confused on, like, I didn't really know what I was doing. And now it's more of a, where we always, like, talk about what we're going to start with or where we're going to go with it. And, man, it never really ends up that way. We just get talking.
Yeah, we just kind of talk about it in the sense of, like, so is there anything like you want to touch on? It's like, I don't know, maybe this or that. And then most of the time we don't really get to it.
One of the biggest things that drives me nuts is when we're like hanging out before we start. Like even when we were just checking the levels and we get going into conversation and I'm like, all right, we got to stop because like it just
we need to
gets
stop
going,
and then we need to start.
And we need to start because it's like we need those little mics. I think the next investment will be those little they're like a clip-on mic right here.
Oh,
and
yeah,
they
we
plug
talked about
directly
those.
into the phone. I think I'm going to get 2 of those. And that way, if we're doing something, we can just hook it up real quick and run whatever. But that'll be fun because we could. I've heard podcasts where like I think it might have been Rogan, but somebody was on a plane and they were headed to like somewhere they were going, and him and their buddy were just sitting in the seat getting wasted.
I think they were on their one. I remember that was like a ways back. I think they're on their way back from an international fight, a UFC somewhere, and it was like Dana White or someone, or Tony Hinchcliffe and Dana White.
Yeah, that is cool, dude. Just like that probably makes the plane.
But they were sitting in one of those like business pods on the plane, so you don't have a lot of outside.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we don't have that luxury.
Man, a couple of my customers, they'll like post when they go, across the pond or wherever they're going. They always fly. One of them always flies in this really nice setup. And dude, I'm jealous. Like I'm not jealous, but I'm excited, I guess, because eventually I'll get to do that. I hope. But dude, it looks so. Because you're right, it's like a little bean pod. You're just in there with like.
We're talking
TVs.
to the sponsors.
Yeah, so hook it up, hook the flights up, whatever.
Need some flights.
But
it doesn't have to be JetBlue.
Nah, man, and just don't send me to Florida. I'm not trying to go to Florida. Let's send me across the pond, man. I want to go see something.
I mean, I'm down to go to Florida also, but yeah.
You've been to India though.
India was awesome. India, we went over to Amsterdam. I was in Amsterdam on 4/20 on April 20th. That was we were there and like it's like a festival there. It's like New Year's,
yeah. That
was super cool. And then I was in England for a couple weeks in Summertown, which is Oxford.
What was the best part of that trip? Like what? No, let me rephrase that. What was the best place? Like where did you not have the most fun, but like where was just the coolest place?
I mean, I was there to just soak up everything. So, I mean, there wasn't necessarily like that. But India, everyone was like, get ready for the culture shock. I was like trying to prepare myself for it. But I'm also very open-minded. Like, it wasn't like a hard transition. I kind of knew what to expect, and it was pretty much what I expected. But I had a blast there, man. It was a trip of a lifetime.
What I expect when I think of India is like a lot of bright colors, like everything's colorful.
There's that,
but like street living like Aladdin at the same time. I have no clue.
there's everything. It's like here, like even here in Phoenix, you go to downtown Phoenix, you can find, freaking crack houses and heroin addicts and bums and weird street shit. And
that meme I posted yesterday.
Then you go to like
perfect.
somewhere
the
nice.
Joaquin Phoenix one.
Oh my God, that was so good. I was like, why is this so accurate?
It just kept getting better. Too. You're like, oh, that's funny.
Like Joaquin Jerome, Tucson, fucking Sedona.
The Melrose one when he
Melrose. Oh my God. And I had a project right over in Melrose too, right? Like, where's that? Like Central and Indian School?
Yeah, somewhere right around there.
Yeah.
It was funny the first time I drove through there, and I was like, oh man, this is fancy.
It's got that big like overhead sign bridge thing that says Melrose on it.
I was like, man, this is fancy. And then it took me a minute to register. I was like, oh shit, they got their own little area over here. I was like, that's cool. Like,
I went into
there's some cool shops and shit.
I went into like one of the bars there, and I was sitting there like chatting up with the bartender, and one of the guys I was with was like looking around. He's like, "This bar seem different to you?" And I was like, "Yep, I got exactly what you're saying right now." I'm like, but we still had a great time, so hung out and had some beers, was chilling, and it's a cool area over there, and it's like it's kind of hidden. There's around it, there's like some business areas and some not so nice areas, and right in that like little sector, it's like it's pretty nice. It's a little quieter. You can walk to a couple different bars right around there. It's a cool area.
I always get shocked when I'm down in that area. Like I like Indian School. I used to think it was kind of a shit, because it kind of is shit if you're on the west side of it.
Yeah, but it's got its own little like it's got a little pocket of like hipster kind of like.
And then it transitions into that money.
Yeah.
Because like I've been into a few places. East. Well, I've been to a place up there for one of my customers to drop off these. They're like a chaise lounge. You know what a chaise lounge is? It's like those things that are sitting out on my lawn. The chairs.
Yep.
But they're for a Baja step of a pool. So a Baja step, goes up to your shin. But
it's like 8 inches of water or whatever.
It's a shelf.
Yeah, it's a shelf in the pool.
So these are the chairs that at the resorts you see kind of down on those things. So you can go lay like kind of in the water. And they're expensive, dude. And they're just plastic.
So you can just reach over and splash some water on you when you get hot. And
the material is like the bottom almost of like a basketball hoop, with the thing you can fill with water or sand.
Oh yeah. So it's like a thick like rubbery like PVC plastic type.
Yeah, but it's a little bit more sensitive. It's not. It's fragile. So like PVC, you gotta be careful with them.
PVC is like it's sturdy, but it will snap.
Yeah. So no, this thing it's meant once it's in the water, it's nice. If you touch it outside of the water, like you brush it on something, it's gonna ding it. And they're like $600, $700 a piece.
You think they would make it sturdier than that?
I know,
coat it, like do some type of like thick
something
like coating on it, like a rubberized
but
paint coating.
Because the way they make them, they're so sleek. That's part of the appeal.
Yeah,
is it's just a sleek thing. So anyway, I bring it to this house down on that. Like, dude, I get into the street. Area? Well, no, this is further down Indian School. Like when you're in
East.
PV. Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So like I'm in this area and it's not PV. What is that down there? It's a different area with a lot of money. But I'm down there and I start going by these huge houses and I'm like, holy shit, dude, these are big, big houses. And I stop and there's these two bulldogs running around in the front yard. Now the fence is like waist high. There's nothing, guards to get in there.
They're little bowling ball bulldogs.
But I'm like, man, those dogs, I know they're expensive. Because this is the house I'm going to.
Were they like the small, like English bulldogs?
No, they were
the bigger sized ones.
Yeah, no, they were the English bulldogs, not the French bulldogs.
Yeah. The French ones are even smaller. Yeah.
So they're like running around. The reason I bring this chair to this fucking house is because the Baja shelf, is just a little too deep, and the dogs jump off and get into it, and the female can't always figure out where the step is. So they wanted to place a few of them on the shelf to give her something to get up on to figure out where she needs to go. Dude, I watched it happen. She falls in the water, this bulldog, and all of a sudden, all you see is a tongue float up to the top of the water, like a freaking bobber on a fishing pole. Yeah. And the lady, I'm like, I'm getting ready to get in the water, like to grab her, and the lady just shakes her head, grabs the pole with the brush on it, and like sticks it in the water and like hooks the dog and just scoops her and pulls it up. This is like a really high-end house, dude. And they were going to raise the shelf. It was going to cost $10,000. So instead they sold them these chairs for probably $800,000-$900,000, whatever. He had to put markup on them. And all they're there for is for those bulldogs to jump on. And I got to sell them another one. That house was cool though. The backyard had one of those. You probably saw the video on my Instagram with the trampoline in front of the hoop.
Yeah, and it was
trampolines.
and it was ground level, like dug in. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's badass.
It's like because that's like a sport,
Yeah, like slam ball or whatever.
something like that. Yeah. So and I'd never seen one, and the lady left, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm doing it. I'm gonna do it." It took me a while though. I thought I was gonna be like king. You know, the thing is you got to get a good jump.
Dude, I can rip it up on a
Onto
trampoline.
it, yeah. You think so though? It's not
No,
like that.
I know. So
You're
I
not-
do rip it up on trampolines. You got to figure I have kids. I go to Jump Street and shit.
But it's weird because
they have
the
those,
way
they
they're
have those basketball
spaced,
hoops at Jump Street.
it's so weird because like I had to figure out how to get my momentum off the back one to get to the front one to propel myself. And the first few times I couldn't, like, it was pissing me off because at first I was like, I'm gonna bust a flip and do nope.
No, it's really hard to
harder than
do
you
crazy
think.
dunks like that. Yeah, but on a trampoline, like
I've never been to a jump
at
street
like
or
Jump Street, so the two ends, like it's a bunch of long
I know what
trampoliines
they
and
look
they're
like.
banked on the ends, like kind of like a half pipe. And I can like run down, like backflip off one, backflip all the way down, 180, fucking hit the other one, backflip off that, and flip down. Like
I'm gonna come next time. You know what we should do is we should
it's
go
a
rock
crazy
climbing.
workout.
We should do the rock walls.
I'm
You ever
down
go
for
to the
that.
one out in Scottsdale?
On the AZ on the rocks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That shit is badass,
That's a dope one.
dude. That's like the biggest one in the state, isn't it?
So I can still tear it up on a trampoline, but I'm like 250 pounds right now. So it's a good segue.
Ooh, you got 100 on me.
Me and my buddy Brandon leaves for he works for a company that caters to wildland firefighters. So like they chase the fires with them and they feed them breakfast, lunch, dinner, snacks. Like they got two big like tractor trailer semis that pull up and the walls fold down into each other and it encloses and makes a full size kitchen, like a warehouse type kitchen in there.
That's cool.
Commercial kitchen. So it's a pretty cool setup. And he just got his CDL and yada yada. He's driving up there. So he leaves and he's gone for like 3 months. So we're going to do a weight loss challenge. And we're talking about like, you know, the money thing's kind of stupid. Like, cause him and I, we spend our money like doing stuff together anyway. Like, you know, just like buying beer and food, we barbecue and stuff like that. So we were talking about it, trying to figure out a cool bet. And we came up with what I call the Butler Bet. So when he gets back, we're gonna do our before and after pictures and put them up on like Facebook and stuff. I'll like tag you in it so you can put it on here for the fans, and we're gonna just have people vote on who looks best, who had the best progress, not even weight loss, but just who looks better. You know, so we'll be like puffing out and bloating up for the befores and like sucking in and flexing for the after.
Dude, come here. I know the lighting pattern.
Yeah.
What time, and all I got to do is look at my before and afters because I hit the lighting pattern perfectly. And I'm telling you, all I got to do is look at the timestamp on when I took those pictures, and I'll be like, all right, you got to come over here for the first one, and then be here at this time for the second one, and you're gonna just be like, pop, 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 pop. You're gonna look nasty.
So the Butler Bet we do when he gets back, and whoever the winner is, it has to be 10 days over the course of 3 months. It has to be like we hang out 10 times, which we always do anyway, like weekly. But it has to be us hanging out 10 different times, and at any time, anywhere, any place, I can just be like, if I won the bet, I could be like, hey, Brandon, fucking take your hat off. You look stupid, and go get me a beer, please. And so he's going to be my butler. Or like if we're at a party hanging out, I'd be like, Brandon, you need to take your shirt off. You can't have your shirt on right now. You look stupid. So it's going to be like a shaming bet, like a butler bet for 10 different times we hang out. So it's like, it's going to get like, oh, sprinklers just came on. You need to fucking strip down your boxers and do a cartwheel.
You need to document it.
Sprinklers.
Like, you can't just do it. You need to
I'm
pull
sure.
your phone out. If
I'm
you
sure
win,
we'll like Snapchat and
whoever
shit.
wins, you need to pull your phone out and be able to like. And I think that there should also be a few wild cards. There should be some type of wild card. So like, whoever wins, but they should also, the loser should have the opportunity to win a wild card where they can pull a butler on you during an event. Only one.
Yeah.
During those
there
10.
has to be like some type of contingency on how they get that wild card.
We'll have to think about that, but you should film them because those will be great.
Like if you maybe if you make the person do the same thing twice, then like they get a wild card on you or something. Like the same thing twice on the same day.
Yeah, you got to.
But yeah, I thought it was.
That's a good one though. I
thought it was a fun bet because it's like, you know, like a bet $100. Like you're just giving each other money. We're gonna then I pay him $100 and then we're gonna go pick up like burgers and fucking a roast and beer and stuff. And we're just gonna spend it anyway. So it's not like.
What you should do, another one. we could do another competition. You buy 2 tickets to an event. Well, that sucks because then at the end we all were going to want to go.
Yeah.
But you buy 2 tickets to the event. Each one of you have to buy a ticket. And then at the end, the other one, whoever wins, gets the other one's ticket, and you got to fucking pay for the ticket that they already bought. You got to cover it.
But see, that's just another money bet. Yeah, it's just another money bet. That's why we wanted to do something fun like that, which the Butler, like, you can shame that person. Like, you can make them do, like, shameful type things in front of people. Like I said, you're at a party, like, hey, take your fucking shirt and your hat off for, like, the next hour.
Yeah, that's right.
People would be like, why does that dude not have a shirt? Everyone here has got clothes on. He has no shirt on. I'd be like, oh, it's because I want to bet.
It's my Butler. That's how he rolls. That's how I have my Butler dress. I'm different. That's how I roll. Give me a beer. Jeeves, beer. And open it with your nipple. All right, so no, I like that shit.
That's fun.
By the way, everybody, I'm sorry if I sound nasally. I've been sick as a dog all week.
Yep.
I knew it. I said it in that last podcast after
like
that
the back
water.
of my throat, something like the water hitting me.
I fucking knew it, dude. Woke up the next morning. I could not breathe, and I think that night, like that raw, like it, you know how like if you have that happens, it fucking phlegms up.
Oh, and if you got like the AC on and like you're through your nasal, the air's hitting the back of your throat.
I didn't stack my pillows, knowing better. Like I should have had my pillows stacked, so I was sitting up, and I didn't. And that next morning, I was wrecked.
Just drained straight back.
And then I was pretty totaled all week. Like I probably slept every single night. I probably slept at least 10 to 11 hours. Like I would go to bed at 8. Like I couldn't get up for the gym in the morning. I was getting up like when I start work, I was literally getting up about 15 minutes before I typically start work, taking a shower, and then starting work. And I would work till about
you're just drained and you weren't making it.
I couldn't move. By 2 o'clock, I couldn't even. I sounded like shit, so I couldn't go in and see half my customers. And like by the afternoon, I would sound so bad that I would just go home and type my stuff up, make some phone calls, shoot some text messages out.
Yeah.
Cool part is I got a bunch of business like orders and shit done, but fuck, man, I sounded terrible. And everybody I talked to is like, "Oh, you sound like." My grandfather called me back. He never does this. He calls me. He's like, "Oh man, you sound like hell. That's not good." Next day he calls me and I'm like, "What the fuck is he calling me again for? What's going on?" And I missed it. And the voicemail is literally, "Hey Keegs, just wanted to check on you. You sounded like shit yesterday."
See if you sound any better yet.
Like that's not him, man. That's not how he is. He had to check, so I was probably sounding pretty bad. Today I couldn't breathe in the gym.
I was texting with you, but I didn't talk to you, so I never heard it. But you were telling me you felt like shit, and
I even couldn't do the podcast. Like I couldn't edit the fucking thing. I just had no ambition to come in here, and I could tell that I was bad. Like getting 11 hours of sleep every single night, like and waking up and being like, I could lay in this bed for another 2 more hours.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good today. It's still crouped in my chest. So I was fucking at the gym, literally barking at the moon, trying to get whatever it was sitting in my chest.
You were fucking amped when I got here earlier. You came walking out and you're like, "Hey!" I was all wide, like came up and hugged me all super hard. And I was like,
first time I'd had pre-workout in like 4 days.
Oh yeah, you were jacked. And then you're drinking some espresso as well.
Yeah, I feel good today, so I can finally like.
I should have had a coffee or an espresso this morning too.
I wasn't feeling. I have one of them little seltzers. I tried them yesterday. They taste pretty good. These little alcoholic seltzers.
Oh yeah, like there's ones called like bubbly or something or.
No, those aren't alcohol.
No, but it's like that, but it's like BUBLE, like buble. And then, truly, those ones. Those are like the zero. Those ones are like zero. Well, not zero sugar because there's alcohol in it, but they're like super low, right?
They're
like 10 or 50 calories.
1 gram of sugar, 100 calories.
Okay.
Which is still kind of high.
That's not bad.
But I don't know. What is it? It's
what's the percentage on it? It says it right here.
It says it's hops. And cane sugar, alcohol. Yeah, I don't know what.
Is it 5%?
It's 5%, yeah.
That's not bad. More than a beer.
I had a few of them last night. They were pretty good. The only problem is it does the same thing. Like if I have a Mike's or a Twisted Tea or any of that stuff, I just feel like I'm sweating all night when I'm sleeping. Like I have a fever.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because you got like some type of like alcohol sensitivity.
Yeah, I just burn it. It's like it's literally like my body just turns on like a fucking furnace, and it's like we're gonna just burn this alcohol off.
A lot of people get that way just in general from alcohol. You're just more sensitive, like hypersensitive to it. But I get the same way because if I start my night off fast, like a shot or two of tequila and a beer, like my ears get warm. Like right away, my ears get like kind of reddish and warm, and like my extremities start to heat up a little bit.
Well, even sick this week, I slept every single night like a baby. Even though I took a little bit of like nighttime medicine or whatever.
It always feels good.
As soon as I had like 3 or 4 of those seltzers last night, and I couldn't fucking sleep to save my life. And I just chalked it up for like, well, it's the alcohol making you warm, but also you've gotten about 100 hours of sleep this week. So
Yeah.
because I slept in yesterday too. Got up and went to the gym, but yeah, other than that, like, we should probably start talking about something since we're about who knows how long in.
Yeah.
But let's see, where
We
were
got some fun stuff in the bank.
Well, to start for fun, because let's go back to that music that we were starting with. How is that possible? Like, rap has always been, if anybody's listened to rap, even if it's pop rap, it's always
Hip-hop,
been like
rap.
not masculine, but like a
fairly masculine.
alpha guy.
Alpha.
Even if he's a small dude, it's all about how he could beat you up, or he could take your girl,
Or he makes more money than you, gets more bitches than you, smokes more weed than you, parties harder than you. Like,
and then Drake came in, and like we're gonna do that next fucking podcast. I'm gonna have 5 lines of Drake verses, just like 1 line or 2 lines of how passive aggressive and how, like, if you would have played that shit back in the day, like in the early 2000s, late 90s, they'd have been like, get that fucking shit out of here. Like,
he has this weird, like in the beginning of his career when he'd do like the kind of robot, like monotone voice.
yeah.
And then he kind of it sounds like he's trying to like do that crossover from like the 90s R&B to also being hip hop, but like trying to be mainstream relevant. And I mean, it's pretty unique.
He capitalized on using melody.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, Lil Wayne was doing it. There was a bunch of other rappers that were doing it. T-Pain really was the one that started
T-Pain's awesome.
crushing it with auto-tune and all that stuff. But when you had Drake come in and he could sing a little bit better and he was smooth with it, but then his actual raps were he had solid lines that you were just like, they're clever.
He's the hook master.
He just, and it just, all his shit sounds cool. Like, he made it cool to sound, like, one of the lines in his new one is like, I saw what you did with the last dude, please take it easy on me, or some shit. Like, no fucking rapper is ever saying that. Like,
Yeah, like
please take it easy on me. Like,
unless it was
bro.
R&B, they're like a rapper
Right.
wasn't talking about how much
And
they
he'll be, like,
how
number
sensitive
one
they
with
are
that
with
shit.
their girls.
Top 5, top 10 fucking song in, like, the country.
You know what cracks me up? Well, so he was the handicapped kid from Degrassi.
Yeah.
You know,
Jimmy.
and then you know what cracks me up? One of my favorite like memes is it shows him sitting in the wheelchair. It's like, maybe she won't, then again maybe she will.
Oh, man, when he's on the wheelchair, that's terrible.
It's hilarious though.
Drake fucking, he definitely made the best conversion. Like, that shit is crazy.
Yeah.
But those Toronto transplants, man,
gotta
those
crew,
Canadian transplants.
Bieber's Canadian too, right?
The Weeknd.
Oh, The Weeknd's Canadian?
Yeah, I know you watched Trailer Park Boys.
Yeah, a little bit.
That shit is Letterkenny. You ever watch Letterkenny?
Yeah, they're Letterkenny's hilarious.
And it's coming back for season 5, right?
Oh, the only way to do a steak is with some butter and some salt and pepper, some S&Ps.
S&P is the choice for me. Dude, I love it.
Great.
That show, Crystal and I watched the first 2 seasons like 2 or 3 times because we couldn't stop laughing at that fucking show.
Yeah, I need to
Pitter
watch
patter,
more of
let's
it.
get at her, bub. Like, that Canadian talk just cracks me up because that's
and
where I'm from. That's
and they're so straight faced and like serious too.
it's couple different vowel sounds difference like from where I come from, and like
Yeah,
I
you
forget
get-
about it sometimes.
You're in like New Hampshire is just such a like a one off, like weird compared to like you're the East Coast, but you're northern East
We're
Coast.
right in that spot where
You guys actually are
you
kind
might
of
not have an accent, and
Or-
then you might have like
yeah. If you're like Baltimore, then you're like Baltimore, fucking Tuesday.
you
like
start to
got
pull
that.
from that Midwest.
Yeah,
and then
yeah.
But then when you go Jersey, you're gonna have your New York. You're gonna have
And that's different
that
too, 'cause
same
it's like-
thing
it's
off
like the
coast,
heavy-
'cause Rhode Island and Boston. And
Yeah, and it's
Massachusetts,
like
all
that
stuff's
heavy like
that.
Italian New York too.
And they drag their A's and the AHs are your R's, and
Yeah.
it's man, it's a different,
And
it's
then
a whole
Boston.
different animal. You ever been there? Have you ever been
I've
to
only-
Boston or New York? Or
No,
any
I've
of
only
those places?
been in the airport in New York. We'll be going actually sometime this year so my girlfriend's gonna be, her family's from Tonawanda, like right next to Niagara Falls and Buffalo.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So she actually might be going there in a couple weeks just to go back and visit and stuff, visit her grandpa and her dad and whatnot. But we're shooting maybe for like New Year's or something like that, trying to go there because I haven't, and especially like upstate New York where it's a lot more. It's nothing like New York City, you know, like it's all spacious and green, rolling hills, like not overpopulated. And so I'd love to go check out like the countryside of New York, you know.
It's beautiful, dude. I mean, New York is a very, very pretty state, and when you get up into that area, it's relatively, I guess, clean's such a weird word for that area because it all is clean. You get into the city, it's disgusting.
Yeah.
You know, but when you get up into that area where it's just trees.
Yeah.
If I pull up Google on where I'm from, it's all trees, bro. You got to like peel it back to be able to find the roads on Google. Like it's insane. And that's like you forget when you go back and the trees are fucking folded right over the street.
Yeah.
Like they're touching on both sides on streets.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's not just back roads where they're like canopied.
Yeah.
You're completely covered. You see, like that's cool. But when you're on a main road and the
it's
fucking trees,
there's
can
like
touch
square
almost
cutout
like,
areas from like the fucking truck, the tractor trailers getting pulled through.
Bro, it's a wild area. It's just a totally different environment.
Yeah.
And the one bad thing like is, I don't want to say it's stuck in the past because, you know, there's definitely a lot of innovation that comes from there. Very intelligent people. There's, you know, right where I'm from is where Dartmouth College is. I mean, it's not that they're lacking education, but you go there and I had to explain to my sister's boyfriend, there's no rap on the radio. And he was like, oh, whatever. And I'm like, no, there's no rap stations. Nothing. Not one. They might have a couple pop stations that'll play Drake and a few other, you know, artists that are really big.
Yeah.
But there is no hip hop station.
How
you got to
like,
drive fucking an hour until you're at least 35 minutes from where I'm from till you're picking one up.
how like ethnically diverse is it there?
There's a lot of people there.
Yeah.
There's
you got
a lot,
big mixture of people.
Yeah. I mean, it's mainly white. Like, it's obviously going to be mainly white. But there are, you know, growing up, there wasn't a lot of black kids in our school. There was definitely no Mexican kids in our school. It's probably only like 3 or 4 black kids in our whole school, but now it's definitely gotten,
It's more populated, a lot more diverse.
yeah, because it's a better, you know, a lot of people from the inner cities are probably looking at it as a better place to raise their kids.
Yeah.
Not as the same type of trouble. They're still going to get into trouble. They're
So
still going to
one
smoke
thing-
weed and do dumb shit. But
One thing that's really interesting, and they've done studies on, is like cities that are more populated. People tend to like walk faster. They're faster paced. They're more stressed. Have more anxiety. Like talk faster. Everything's now, go, hurry. And compared to places that are a lot less populated, it's a lot more relaxed, slowed down. People aren't like doing the California stop at the stop signs. They're kind of just cruising, you know, through they just stop at the stop sign, wait a second, go. Like,
yeah.
it's a lot different, which is funny because coming to you, super ADHD,
Well,
you're
I'm
high,
not.
you're wired like fast.
All right, so I fit in because it's my family and my friends and everything, but I stick out. Like,
Yeah.
I'm different. I was always different. I was always the one. Hey, like I would go to parties with CD mixtapes of like all new rap. Like I would spend hours online trying to find like new hip hop that people
like
had no
LimeWire
clue.
and shit like that.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I gave everything a virus, bro. Like I fucking, it was bad. But I also like, I would slip other shit on there because I knew that people would pull my disc out if I didn't
Yeah.
have something that they knew. But then you would see those CDs pop back up like a year or 2 years down the road. And they'd be like, oh, this fucking, you heard this song? And like, there was times that I'd be like, yeah, that's my CD.
Yeah.
Like I made that
I dated
shit.
it.
Yeah, that's
Look on
my
the date.
KDZ. That's me. Yeah, that's me. You know what cracks me up though, as I was thinking about this the other day when I was mowing the lawn, is that one, I definitely walk fast. And I was pretty aggressive back there. You know, I had a motorcycle, I did all this stuff, but there's this common phrase, you know, we're real sharp back there. We come up with some good, you know, names to call people. So for people from Massachusetts, you know, we're super clever. We came up with coined this great phrase called Massholes.
Yeah. Well, you guys coined it though? Because I've known Massholes as
yeah.
being like
No,
the
I'm
whole
sure
the universities and like all the sports teams. Like
No,
they're such fucking douchebags.
It's the New England in general, not just New Hampshire, Vermont, Maine, Massholes. Because what happens is, like you said, when you live in a city, everything's a little bit faster paced. We're driving, we're getting there, we're getting shit done. When you get to where we're from, like when you get on the busiest area to go shopping where I'm from, and you go to get on the highway right there off the like main strip where you go shopping, when you get on the highway, it is like instantly merged on the on-ramp. Where here, we typically run it all the way up, or it goes halfway before it merges.
Yeah.
Not there. It merges like 2 dots. Like, so people can pull in this way and people can come in this way. And it merges instantly. And when I went home the last time and I was driving, 2 different times, I was right on somebody's ass. And they were doing like 35 up the ramp, 40. And I'm like, what in the hell is your problem? And I'm like right on their ass. And everybody kept looking at me weird. You know, because I had a car with New Hampshire plates on it.
He's one of them city drivers.
But they were fucking, they were giving me the masshole look. And I realized that I was like, oh my God, it's not the massholes. It's the New Hampshire people. Because they all just, like, when you're driving, like going 10 miles over the speed limit, like that's kind of fucking stupid. Like you're not really, you might do it, but not more than that. If you are doing more than that, you're asking for it.
And here in Phoenix, everybody is like a minimum of 10.
Cop will pass. If you're doing 10 over the speed limit, the cop will pass you, like alongside of you.
Doing 15, 20 over it.
Typing on his computer.
Oh, yeah. I've seen it. I've witnessed it.
Multiple times.
Fucking weekly. Mm-hmm. Yeah, all the time.
So it's, you know, but they're also the say where when you go to get on the highway, people merge. You know, obviously because there's only 2 lanes, so people understand they got to be courteous with the road.
Yeah.
So that was a really hard thing. Like I hadn't gone home for 5 years, you know, and I went home and I tailgated every single person that I drove by.
Did you feel like everything slowed down there a little too? Time went by differently.
I was frustrated because I was like, you guys are like wasting time. Like there's shit like this is ridiculous, and it's because you just realize
it's something I'm a little bit envious of too. Like people who have such simple lives and simple pleasures and relax. But it's not fucking
simple, bro. That's the thing. Like, to live there is complicated. Like, everything is 35, 40 minutes away. 25 if you're lucky.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that way here, too, though, in certain areas. In certain areas of Arizona?
Well, yes. Way out. But this is everywhere. Unless you live in, like, a few of the small Maine towns, there is no store 5 minutes from your house typically. You got to drive 15 minutes to go to the store, and that's typically a little country store. And if you want to go to the grocery store, like the markup is insane. It's $5-6 a gallon of milk.
Yeah,
you know, and there everything takes a little bit more time. You know, you got to have fuel in your car by fucking 8:30. You know, 7:30 on weekends and shit because the stores will be closed. So you can't just stop and get gas.
What time is there like local like bars, pubs, like taverns?
Okay, so the last time we went home, the main town Lebanon that I'm next to, which is just outside of Hanover, is like, you know, a main town. There's a bunch of bars down, not a bunch, like 3 or 4 bars down in there. So Crystal and I go to see a friend, leave there. It's like 9 o'clock. We drive in there. It's like 9:30, 9:40. We round the green and go to park in front of the first bar. And the fucking people come walking out of the bar. And I'm like, oh, man, look, a bunch of people just left. Oh, no, they closed the bar down. It was like 10 o'clock. And it's because there's so many little cops that drive around. You can't hide. There's not a bunch of traffic riding around. So if you're driving at 11 o'clock at night, there's probably a 50-50 chance you've been drinking or smoking.
Do they have Lyft and Uber there?
They do now. I'm sure it's a lot better. But it's not like... people still drive like I used to. And the thing is you never even think about the gas thing. All that shit never was an issue for me when I lived there. Like you're just so accustomed to it. Like it never.
Yeah, it's just regular life. Regular
you
life.
Don't even think about it. Like I go back now and it's like couldn't go get a drink, couldn't find any food, couldn't do shit. I was so frustrated that night. I was like, I just want to go back to Arizona. And the first thing I noticed when we got home and I was driving down the highway. And I remember exactly where I was. I was headed southbound on the 101, or I don't know if it's south or north, whatever. I was headed towards Scottsdale, and I was going by like 35th and 43rd, right there where that mountain is, right there on the left.
Oh, you were headed
I was headed
East?
towards Scottsdale.
Oh, you're headed east.
East, yeah. I don't know why I'm headed east.
You're north from your house, and then it rounds out east.
East. So I'm going by that mountain, and I look like across the highway, and there's just like 150 cars. You know what I mean? And there's like 20 cars going by me. There's people on their phones, and and like I could feel it. Like I could feel all the vibration, and a lot of people would be like, "Ugh, you know, I gotta get the fuck out of here." And I was just like, "Dude, I'm back. I'm home."
So we were talking about India earlier. That's a crazy thing about India. Where my buddy Rish is from, Gurgaon, is just outside New Delhi. It's right there. It's super populated. There is never silence there. There's always cars. People honk there just as a normal, like for anything, just to like notify you of something. Like someone will be coming up behind you, and they're just trying to let you know. They're like coming into your blind spot on your left, and just hang, like 100 times.
It's like that on islands and shit too.
And it's never fucking quiet there. And we got back here, and me and Rish got like back to my parents' house, went and hung out back in the pool, and I was like, holy shit, you can hear like birds, and there's no cars.
You can hear the wind.
You can like hear the wind. Yeah. Like it was like, whoa. And it's like just so high, like pressure and like tension over there. And with all that noise and just that sound pollution, it's crazy.
Well, and it's crazy too when you get like when I go back to New Hampshire and I step out on my dad's porch and you look up and it feels like the sky's close. It feels like you could almost touch it. It's so close and you see it. And here, like, you can see it, but there's so much like man-made light everywhere.
Yeah.
That it just glows.
Yeah, light pollution. It fucking does make the sky seem further away. You see less stars.
Like, out here, this light will turn off. You know, it does the cycles out front, that big orange light in the street.
Yeah.
Dude, when it goes off and it gets dark for a minute, it's friggin' crazy how many stars you can see here.
Yeah.
As soon as those lights come back on, though, you see like 10.
Well, if you just drive like 20, 30 minutes north on the I-17 and go up towards like Sedona and stuff, it's like boom, you can just see all the stars. Like it's definitely different. And if you look back toward the city, you know when you swim and you get like that cloudy light haze, like when you look at a light, you can see like the light coming off of it, like the cloud around it. When you're like outside of Phoenix and you look toward Phoenix from all like the dust and like the exhaust pollution and everything and that light pollution, you can actually see like a cloud of light, like, you know,
Vegas
emitting,
is like that, too.
emitting off
when
of.
When you come down into Vegas.
Yep, when you're driving to Vegas, like that's how you know you're getting closer. Like I think that's it up there, and then the lights start to get brighter, and all of a sudden you just see like this aura of light around it. You're like, oh, that must be it.
Yeah.
The strip just fucking glows 24/7.
After a few times there, you'll register that with like when you stub your fucking pinky toe on the dresser or on the bedstand, and it hurts so fucking bad that you know it's like blinking because it hurts so bad and it turns red. Yeah, that's that orb that you see. That's Vegas. Stubbing your pinky toe.
It is.
Oh, I hate Vegas. I like it. And
Vegas is the broken pinky toe of cities.
God. I mean, I've been there a bunch of times and I've had fun, but dude.
We need to go to Laughlin. Have you ever been to Laughlin?
No.
Laughlin's fun.
Yeah.
So it's basically like we were just talking about. It's like the little bit slowed down version of Vegas. Like a little older crowd, a little less traffic, a little more slowed down.
Yeah, my buddy goes out there
cheaper.
and gambles. And he bets, you know, sports betting and all that shit out there. But
what you got next in the tank?
You didn't have a chance to watch it, so I'm just gonna blurt out a bunch of
don't even
random
talk about
shit.
it. We'll talk about it next
well,
time.
I'm gonna I want
I'm gonna
people
watch
to
the
watch
I'm gonna
it.
watch the documentary. So
all right, perfect. First of all, if anybody doesn't listen to the Joe Rogan podcast, I know I would say that shit like I'm attached at his hip, but one of the last ones. Anybody that's older that listens to this might have remembered this name, Bob Lazar. And he is a guy that supposedly used to work for Area 51. He worked on UFO spacecrafts or whatever it is. And so he's been claiming this since back in the 80s, the late 80s. They've had him, multiple people have tried to debunk him. They have given him 4 polygraphs. He's passed every one with flying colors. He doesn't profit from any of this shit that he does. So when he tells any of the stories and money's made, he gives all of that money to schools, science programs. He doesn't keep any of the money because he's been trying to make this point since the 80s.
Pretty fucking cool, Bob.
Like, it's pretty wild what he's doing. But when you hear him explain some of the shit that, you know, he claims that they got 9 spacecrafts. And I suggest listening to the Rogan podcast or at least watching it on YouTube first. Because I watched the documentary after, and I felt like I got more out of the podcast than I did.
Because they talk about it more open.
And the documentary was weird. They tried to be too artsy with it. They had like Mickey Rourke narrating it, which you can't fucking understand him anyway.
Oh, I fucking love Mickey Rourke.
Yeah, but it made no sense. Like, he wasn't, I don't know, dude. He wasn't the right one to narrate that. And there was just little things like that about that, like the way they did certain shots. It was just too artsy. I didn't like that part of it. But when he explains the shit in the podcast, dude, that there's 9 crafts that the United States government's got. He claims he worked at this place called S4, which is off the side of Area 51 over by the mountains where they have supposedly like hangars, that they have 9 of these crafts.
Like built into the mountains.
And his job was to try to reverse engineer the propulsion system. And that's where he was the first one that told people that they have this propulsion system. It looks kind of like a plate with a half a basketball on it. When they take that piece off, it activates, or they activate it, and that area where that ball was becomes like a bubble. And you can't touch it, like a reverse polarity, like when you put 2 magnets together. You can't put your hands on it. It doesn't hurt you, but basically he claims it's making its own gravity field, and then it's bending gravity in space and time. So they try to figure this shit out. They can't really figure it out. And it's cool because one of the things he said, how he explains it, is if we took a mini nuclear reactor, you know, and we brought it back to like the Roman times and set it on the table and left, you know, they would be like, holy shit, this thing's making power without having to burn any, like, it wouldn't make sense to them, but they'd understand that it's creating power. They'd be curious. Eventually they'd open it up. They'd all get radiation poisoning. They would die. People would come in to check on them. Those people would die. And like, it would take them a long time to figure this shit out because they're not there yet. They don't understand that far into science. So that's how he's explaining us trying to figure the shit out, that we're just not there. And he said that they know that the fuel source is this element 115, which at the time when he said all this shit wasn't on the periodic table.
Yeah, and it is now.
And like, one of the cool things that I heard him say was a few of those crafts were dug up by an archaeological team. It wasn't like crashed on like, they found these things on this planet. And one of the things that really kind of got me spinning, and who knows, is I wouldn't be surprised if Hitler had a few of them. And that's probably why he lost the war. One of the big reasons is that if he had some of these actual crafts, you know, his first thing he'd be trying to do is same thing we're doing, is trying to reverse engineer them. He knows if he can create these, he wins everything. Once he sees them fly, he knows what they do. He's winning everything. Well, when you're trying to fight the United States of America in a war and trying to do that shit at the same time, that's got to be pretty difficult when we still can't figure the shit out. Or at the time in the 80s, they couldn't figure the shit out.
They had some of the best fucking scientists.
And we took them.
Yeah, we took some of them.
You think we didn't just take scientists? Like, if they really dug these fucking things up, because he would go to Antarctica. They were going to all kinds of wild places trying to dig up crafts. So it's one of those things, like, who knows, one of those crafts could have exploded and caused an ice age up there where they're digging them out. Who knows? You don't know what could have happened.
Well, yeah, and if you're saying like almost like magnets, like then obviously there's a way for them to control like polarity, and that's how they actually keep themselves.
It's creating a gravitational field around itself, and it creates propulsion. And when you're inside of these gravity fields, supposedly time's different. All this, you got to watch it, because I'm not a fucking scientist. And this dude explains the shit. And when you go through like his past history and hear him explain it for years, he doesn't skip a beat.
Yeah.
There's a few things, especially when you watch the documentary, that made me a little weary of him. Like he, at one point, after all, like he came out and told everybody this shit, he like opened a brothel in Vegas or in California or something, and like the feds and the government were like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And he thought it was like funny. So that was kind of weird to me. Like, is he just so
Like he's
smart that he's
off.
a really troll? Like, so there was a few things, but when you hear him explain this stuff, and Joe, you know, he definitely
Maybe he knows that aliens like pussy. He's like, I'm gonna make a brothel because I heard this is where they visit
They
in the middle of the
come.
desert in
Yeah.
California. Like,
smart. That's why it's the Bunny Ranch now. But it's not. But it was just crazy to hear him like say some of this stuff, and it got me also thinking, like, you always hear him say that the conspiracy, you know, that conspiracy shit where they want a new world order and they want just a small amount of people on this planet and we don't need all these other people. And for that to work, I feel like you would need either slaves and then the small amount of elite, like a small amount of slaves, small amount of elite, so you could have what you wanted and that's it. Or you're so technologically advanced you don't need the people. So eventually you get bored on the planet. If you exhaust everything on this planet and what we can do, what's the first thing you do? What we're already doing.
yeah, go to another fucking planet.
You try to go to another planet. But what if they're so technologically advanced that they understand they'll only make it so far to another planet? So they create what we're creating now, AI, and they make the grays, whatever. They print fucking whatevers, and they send them to different places and then have them come back with them information. And over time, our planet gets fucked up. And those people are all gone, and now these things are just coming back trying to give us information.
Oh shit!
That was
It's a
something
new take on it.
I thought of that the other day just because I listened to fucking 4 hours of that conspiracy shit and then Ancient Aliens all night, and I was just like, I'm gonna lose my mind. But yeah, dude, give that one a listen. Joe Rogan
I was gonna check out
podcast.
the
The
documentary.
Duncan one was really good too because they talk about a lot of crazy shit. But that one was just it's eerie.
Yeah.
Because when you hear him say some of the stuff, like,
Well, Bob Lazar's been, I mean, he's been talking about this stuff for fucking 30 years.
30 years.
Yeah.
And like, again, he shows that he like doesn't profit from this. Like everything lines up to do, like he says, this would be more trouble for him than it's worth. It doesn't make sense for him to do this.
Yeah.
If he's not making money from it and he doesn't like to be in the public's eye. Like they had to force him to do this fucking interview. He didn't want to do it.
It's fucking hard. It's hard because we don't know.
Well, and all right, so here's another crazy thing. They erase his birth certificate. They erase his birth certificate.
I remember that, and his college.
And his college, so he went to Caltech
Yes,
and
I've
MIT.
I've like read a bunch of stuff on Bob Lazar in the past.
And then they said that he never worked at the Los Alamos.
But then there's people who work there that are like, no, I fucking worked with him.
Not only that, they dug up old directories with his name on
With his
them.
name on it, yeah.
And there's a front page because he tells like the way that he got the job at the government was he was working at that place and he was like really into jet propulsion and shit like that, and he built a bunch of jet cars.
Yeah.
And he literally drove around with a fucking jet car. That's what he like, this Honda jet car he would drive to work in.
Yeah.
And he was on the front page of the paper for it. Los Alamos scientist, Bob Lazar, MIT graduate, like all the information. And it was him, and he went to this place and talked to this dude that was outside that was a bigwig for the government, and was like, yeah, that's me. And they talked, and then he eventually put in a resume and they took him in.
Yeah. And then when all this shit happened, they erased his birth certificate. They took everything out of the records at MIT that he was like never there. And there's other classmates that are like, no, I went to school with Bob. Like, I know Bob. I fucking went to school with him at MIT. And they're like, no, he didn't go there. You know, like crazy shit.
So that's the type of stuff, like, if he's lying, why would you do that?
Yeah, exactly.
Even if he has
there's some fucking weird shit.
I could see you pulling his degrees and saying, hey, look, this dude's not fit to be able to carry these degrees because there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, you just put an asterisk next to him.
But
like,
you can't delete his fucking birth certificate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I feel like that one's kind of like, oh shit, we lost the camera.
Ooh, we lost the camera. It's all right. It's the you bought some a new memory card for that last time, thinking it would last longer, but for some reason it's just on
how to be consistent.
it's just on like a 20-minute thing. Let me look at it.
29, dude. I have gone through every option on it, and I don't fucking care anymore. I don't care.
You couldn't figure out the saved files
Go
either.
ahead.
So
Go ahead.
I'll take a look at it. I don't know if I'll have time to today because I got
No,
a
that's
jet in
fine.
about an hour and 20, so
But
still got plenty of time to talk.
so that shit to me, if you want to have a weird, if you're just bored and you want to fucking get a little freaked out,
Trying to look for some new thoughts.
that shit'll make you weird.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So what do you got? What's new on you?
What is new on me? I got some stuff in the tank, I think. We'll talk about that next time. We can do the rap lyrics and Disney movies and how old they are and some crazy shit. Have you ever been pepper sprayed before?
No.
No.
Tased a few times.
So when I was younger, we picked up like these hitchhikers. My dad did. He had a big old van, and we were up in, like Sedona, Jerome, something like that, somewhere a ways out. And he picked up these hitchhikers. They had like a flat bike tire, and they were like biking across the United States. And they were almost to California, so like they're almost done. My dad picked them up. We were in a van, which is nowadays seems pretty sketchy. Some Texas Chainsaw Massacres type shit. But my dad picked up these hitchhikers, and we had like people with us in the van too. I think one of my buddies, Cody, was with us, and this guy went to change his went to go pull like a soda or something out or water bottle out of the cooler, and he had a can of mace, like pepper spray, on his hip, and he ended up accidentally hitting the switch on it and spraying pepper spray inside the van with all the doors closed, so the whole van got maced pretty damn good.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I was pretty young too. I think I was like 8, 9. Got accidentally pepper sprayed, and luckily we were up by a creek, and I like ran over and started splashing water on my face, and it was an interesting time. So that was accidental pepper spray, and I've never been purposely pepper sprayed. Definitely not by any law enforcement. The second time I ever got pepper sprayed, we were fucking around at like a friend's house, and he had pepper spray, and there was a kid that was going to leave, and he's fucking with him, and he sprayed like some of the pepper spray on the door handle. Then he'd like grab it and like not notice it, and then like rub his face later or some shit. Well, the can of pepper spray, he left because you like flick the top to the side and it pops up or something, and he didn't like lock it back all the way, and someone went to grab it off the countertop, and when they grabbed it, their thumb kind of hit the little switch.
I always get nervous about those
and
ones on the keychains,
it
bro.
fucking shot off, and once you flick it open, it keeps spraying. It's like pressurized. This one anyway, I don't know how all of them work. So it flipped open, and it was just like spraying the whole time. And he like fumbled with it, and then like someone else went to grab it, and the shit's spraying, and it comes out in a stream, not like a mist.
Yeah,
and
it's
so
was it like
one
yellow?
of the kids, it like spun around, and he had a line of yellow like across his face where it hit him, and he's like, like my fucking skin's on fire, and like the whole room got maced out, and I got like a little on my shirt. It stained my shirt, and yeah, it's like a yellowish, oily color. It was pretty bad.
Dude, that shit is nasty. Yeah, I got tased a few times. One time we had a cattle prod at a party, which is I don't fucking recommend doing, but you know, a bunch of drunk kids,
out in the
18,
sticks.
19 years old, you think it's funny, and we're getting hit in the ribs. Fucking bop, 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 smacking, and I got shocked a few times.
That's like a pretty more terrible spot to do it. Like
It
I'd be
wasn't
like
smart.
I'd be like, do it on my calf or something, like on my leg. You know?
No, we kept in the ribs, and at the time we had crotch rockets, me and my buddy. And the next morning, I remember I was sleeping, and I only got hit twice, but he got hit. Like, he was wasted. He's bigger than me, and he kept getting hit. Like,
Which is like arguably kind of worse if you have a larger muscle mass, like when
I
electricity
don't
hits
know
you.
why he was doing it, but he just kept doing it. So next morning, he shows up to my house and like wakes me up, and he's like, "Come on, dude, let's go." And I'm like, "What's wrong with you?" And he's like, fucking shaking. And I'm like, "Are you all right?" And he's like, "Yeah, we just got to get out on the bikes, bro. Like I can't sit still."
Was he getting hit like on the ribs on his side by his heart or something?
I don't know, bro. He was fricasseed though. He was like jittery all day. Then he was like shaking. And once we got on the bikes, he was all right. Like his adrenaline chilled him out. But like, I just remember being like, "Dude, you shouldn't play with those things. Like those things are nasty."
Yeah, someone's gonna restart their heart a little bit or something.
Yeah, I never
Set
got hit
themselves
with
into
mace,
some
though.
AFib or something.
My buddy, when we were in like 9th grade, we were messing around in a study hall. Shout out to Danny. Oh, shout out to Danny Puljasic. He just had a baby boy, healthy baby boy. And I got to look at the name again because I only saw it once. It's it's an interesting name since, we're sitting here with two pretty interesting names.
Okay, this is a good segue. Let's talk about interesting names, rare names. Yeah, because we got some rare ones right here. Dakota, Keegan.
His name is, I'm going to say this wrong, Jai Excel Lennis Poljasic.
Jai, J-A-I.
J-A-I, middle name A-K-S-E-L.
Axel.
Axel.
Jai Axel.
Jai Axel Lennis, so L-E-N-U-S, right?
Lennis, yeah, sounds like Lennis.
I don't know.
Linus, Lennis.
To look at it, it's badass. Like the first three part, like Jai Axel Lennis, that looks like a fucking karate master, bro.
Yeah, I don't know.
I like it. I like
no,
it.
it's cool. It's cool.
I like
hell.
the name
I don't
Jai.
dislike it for
I
sure.
only knew probably like two. I think I only knew one kid named Jai. I think he passed away. I always liked that name though. I thought it was different.
Jai.
Yeah.
Or it sounds like Jamaican to me. Like, hey, Jai, man.
He was a cool kid too. You know what I mean? A name, a person can change a name.
I think I saw a kid named Jai recently, like in a grocery store, a little bit younger. His mom was like, Jai, yelled at him or something.
It's like weird names, dude. I'm telling you, they make you different.
So my girlfriend's name is Davina, which is
a
little bit different. I guess it would be like almost like her dad and her brother, David and David Jr. So like it's along the David line, Davina. There's a cool pizza place called Davino's over by my house.
Yeah. My mom is Ingrid.
Ingrid's like an older name. Old school name.
And then my sister's India.
India's an interesting name.
And then her father's name was Dana, or is his name
D-A-N-A.
Yep.
My brother's name is Destry. So Destry was from an old Western movie called Destry Rides Again, D-E-S-T-R-Y. And my brother's a fucking crazy ass. So when I tell people it's Destry, it's like destroy without the O because he's fucking nuts. And then, Dakota. But our middle names are Rock because my dad's name was Rocky. So
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that. Obviously we all know mine, Bernie. So, yeah, but shit, now I forgot what I was going to say. It was, I can't remember. I hate when that happens. Because we were talking about names, and I had something kind of cool, but I don't remember what it was. See, it's too bad you can't rewind it either and like figure it out yet. Yeah.
I mean, we could.
No, I can't. Like in my brain.
Oh yeah, some Black Mirror shit.
Yeah, I can't remember what the hell I was just thinking.
Yeah,
weird names, dude. Oh, my great grandfather. So my dad's grandfather, I believe. His name was Von Lee.
Von Lee?
That's just his first name, I think.
Like Vonlee?
I think so.
Von Lee. I mean, it's different for sure, but it's kind of like Stanley. Von Lee.
I like that Von Lee shit,
Von Lee's cool.
Von Lee Dyke. Von Lee Dyke.
One of my nephews is, his first name is Dayden, D-A-I-D-E-N, and his middle name is Von Patrick. But I want to say there's like a Z in like Von Patrick.
But you could do it like V-A-U-G-H, right? Or Von.
No, his is V-O-N.
You spell it like that, V.
Yeah, because like he's my half brother and he's like, Polish, like kind of Eastern European type mixture. So V-O-N.
Names like that's why.
And then
when you have a last name Dyke, you got to be careful.
So my sister-in-law, her name is Nanette, N-A-N-N-E-T-T-E, Nanette. And they named my niece Nanette, which is, you don't ever call, I was thinking about this too, like females, you never call females Junior. It's not Nanette Junior. We just call her Little Nanette.
Yeah.
That's kind of different. There's not a lot of.
That's funny because it's true because we got, Bernie's not a common name, right? Bernadette, Bernie. It's not. You don't hear it very often.
Yeah, and Bernadette sounds like she was born in the 40s or 50s.
My aunt that lives up the street is Bernadette. That's what my middle name's after. But they just flipped it to Bernie.
Yeah. Bernie sounds
my mom's
cooler.
Best friend that she was literally like raised in the house with, and all the sisters, her name is Bernadette, and then one of those sisters' daughters is named after her. So there's there's four Bernies in the family if you count me. And it's funny because they call her Little Bernie. Like the younger
Yeah.
one, my cousin or whatever. She's not really related to me, but that's what they called her, is Little Bernie, like our whole life. And you're absolutely right. You're like, you don't have a Bernie Jr.
My grandmother's name is...
Unless I did it. I could pull that off.
You could be Junior, maybe.
No, I mean,
or
I could
have a Junior.
I could have a Junior and make his middle name Bernie.
Yeah.
And be like, you go by your middle name, Bubba. It's Bernie.
Yeah, like my buddy Cody Wilt. His first name's Charles, but he's gone by Cody like his entire life.
Well, that's what I was saying about
Charles,
you.
Charles doesn't sound like a kid's name, right? You call him Charlie, maybe.
Chuck. What up, Chuck?
Yeah, but Chuck doesn't even sound like a 6-year-old kid when you're young. Like
You call him what up, Chuck? Up, Chuck.
Or you call him like Chucky. But like
Chuckster.
Charles, Charlie. So he just went by Cody, you know.
Chi-Chi.
Oh, my grandmother's name. My grandmother's name is D, just D-E-E.
Mine's Stella. Whoa, easy, Bob. No.
Don't do anything crazy.
Kumar.
Stella. That's a classic name.
But I think it's Marie Stella. I think. MSG.
I just think
her initials are MSG. So
I
it's
just think
Marie
of
Stella.
Stella.
Stella. If we ever had a girl, I wanted to name her Stella.
Stella.
Because I love that name. I like old lady names if they're the right one.
There's a ton of girls that are Italian heritage that go by Bella because it means beautiful, and but that gets overly.
Yeah, no, I don't.
used.
I like you gotta have some style to it, bro. Like I got a buddy. His name is Zeth. That shit could have gone anyway with a Z. Yeah, bro, kills it.
Like Zane is kind of a cool name.
Zane's a cool name. But
Zeth is pretty cool. I kind of like that.
Zeth is, and he is a super cool guy. Like fucking guy is like super mechanically inclined. He can just
When you got cool names like that, you're either gonna fucking suck.
I'm saying you make
or you're
break.
gonna be good.
I kind of hovered the middle line, I think, for a while, you know, and I still haven't figured out what side I want to reside on, but I got one of them middle.
You got a
weird-
sweet shirt on, so I think you're pretty
Well, and
cool.
if I'm sucking, you know, if it's not working for Keegan, I'll just flip that shit over to Bernie. You know,
Yeah.
I got multiple options, and if all else fails, we'll just run Dyke for the rest of my life. What's your name? Dyke. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Just
we're not
go
gonna
by
say that
one
out
name.
loud.
We just go by one name. I'm gonna get rid of my first two.
I saw.
My dad always told me I couldn't get rid of my last name.
I saw one of your. I think I saw one of your sisters post or something where she's like, "I was mad somewhere they wouldn't use my last name because it was offensive or something."
Yeah, dude, you want to hear something? She's probably gonna get pissed I say this, but she deleted it off her page. But she was out to dinner the other night, and I think they were with friends. I have no idea. She was wearing a romper, and like, dude, I've seen her in this romper. If my sister was dressing inappropriately, I'd be like, dude, what are you doing? Like, you know, she's first of all, she's not that type of person, so that's not.
Yeah.
She doesn't even dress like that.
It would be.
But it's a
different for
romper.
her to
We're in
do.
Phoenix. It's 100. All right. So it's not inappropriate. She's not being. She knows how to sit like a normal human being. So she's not being inappropriate.
It's only 100 right now, by the way.
So this guy comes up to her at the bar and says something on the lines of, "I really love my wife and I don't want to offend her. And can you move where you're sitting?"
What a douche.
And like, dude, first of all, the guy's super lucky that I wasn't there. Because the first thing I would have done was send his wife a sex on the beach. And like, I would have just, because if I'm not going to fight with you, dude, I'm not going to, but I'm going to piss you off to the point where you're going to regret ever coming to
I would have
the
just been
table.
like, you and your wife are both very insecure. Go sit the fuck back down.
Oh, that's basically, well, I would have said a bunch of choice words, but like, I just couldn't believe, like, how do fucking people
audacity.
think that they can say weird shit like that to people? Like, what is your problem? Like, move. Like, move your seat.
Yeah,
If
how about you
feel like
fucking move?
You can't sit there
Don't
without
tell me what to do.
Like, dude, I'm in the gym the other day, and there's two girls, like, pretty much doing yoga right in front of me in yoga pants. And Crystal looked at me because we were running together. And I was watching, I don't even remember what it was, but I was watching something because I know better.
Yeah.
Like, I know better, dude. Not even just because she's right there. You just fucking don't stare at some girl's
people.
ass. Like,
You can
you
take
glance,
a look.
everybody
but-
glances because she tapped me like, will you look at this shit?
Yeah, so
And I
obviously
was
she
like-
looked.
And I was like, what? And she was like, and I was like, oh, you know, like making the joke like they're
Yeah,
over here
they're stripping.
performing. But I don't get like how people don't just have like certain levels of couth.
Yeah.
Like even at the grocery store today, I heard this old dude, and the girl's like, did you find everything okay today? No, I didn't. And I was like, who says that shit? Like, dude, it's okay.
Or be like, no, I couldn't fucking find what I was looking for. Do you know where
But
that's
no,
at?
bro, he pulled out a yellow scratch pad with like
okay.
a few things that he was like, I couldn't find this, and I was just like, You waited till you got to the register?
Yeah, there's
And he
usually like a
wasn't-
manager chilling, like kind of over by
And
the
he
registers
wasn't
in the
old,
back.
like decrepit. Like he was older, but he was just being a jerk. Like he was being
Yeah.
mean to this young girl. And then he ran into Crystal. I didn't catch it till after she told me. And then he almost ran into me, and he didn't apologize. And I was like, man.
See, it sucks because some people are. I try to give people the benefit of the doubt a lot of time.
Oh yeah.
And like it sucks because when there's people like that, you're like, does this person just, are they that rude? Are they just a shitty person?
Yeah.
Or like maybe like their fucking dog died this morning and the wife's gonna divorce them and some shit's happening and like then like it's like gives, but at the same time,
I'm still more
don't
sympathetic.
slide on that.
Like,
you
man,
gonna,
I've
you gonna
lost-
have a drink?
I'm finally gonna
I was
crack
waiting
one.
for you to have a drink. I was gonna cheers you earlier and we didn't because we didn't have anything to cheers. So there's a cheers like a fucking hour into the podcast. Oh, Davina texted me, asked me how it's going. It's going pretty good.
Yeah, we got to
We're
do a
doing the
dinner.
huge.
We got to do a dinner eventually with us four to hang out.
Yeah,
Get
let's
to know
grab
each other.
some.
Maybe we'll go somewhere neutral.
We could always do that, or I love to
always
cook,
works.
man. Yeah, I know you like to cook, so
We'll come over. I don't give a fuck.
yeah, we'll come over here. You come over there.
I want to get a new grill. I got a lot of new things that I want to get. I had to get 2 new
always.
tires the other day. And, you know, because I don't... If anybody ever sees any of the vehicle that I drive or... That shit ain't mine. Like, don't ever get it twisted. I don't ever tell nobody that's my truck. That is not my truck. That's my company that I work for's truck. And I'm blessed.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Like, beyond all belief.
Taking care of
to be
taking care of their employees.
And so I don't even pay attention to what stuff costs. Like I don't pay attention to what fuel costs. I don't know what
Yeah.
I don't even know what we're at right now.
I had a
for
gas
fuel.
card. I had a gas card for like the past 5 or 6 years.
Yeah.
And people would be like, "Oh shit, gas is like 309 here," and I'm like, "Oh, what? I don't even know what it is normally. I wouldn't even pay attention." And then now I do. I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm gonna." I saw up the street it was 299 and not 309, so I'm gonna stop at that.
You're using the points and shit, your card points from like the grocery
Yeah,
store. Fuck
yeah.
yeah. But like it's crazy because we got Crystal a new car a few weeks back and I don't pay attention to that shit. You know, the gas
Yeah.
isn't bad because it's a 4-cylinder, but I put 2 tires on the thing and it was like $380. And I was
Well,
like,
my tires are about $300 per tire.
oh, that's what mine are.
Yeah.
On the truck. I found out just not that truck, but the one before. I was like, holy shit, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And I'm like looking at it like I've never even squawked the tires on that truck, dude. I make sure I don't squawk. I'm like, dude, that much money? Like, it's crazy. And those new trucks are really nice. I mean, that's why I baby that thing.
Oh, of course.
They gave me the option to buy the last one, but 2 other guys had, let's put it this way. One of the guys looked me right in the eyes and said, don't ever put a black light in the back of your truck. And I was just like, are you serious, dude? And he's like, yeah, don't do that.
Huh.
And I was just like, that's disgusting. And then the other guy was
interesting.
a dirty dog as well, so I wouldn't be surprised if some bad shit happened in that truck when he had it. So I couldn't wait to get rid of that truck, and the last thing I was going to do was pay $11,000 for it.
Yeah.
But this one, at the rate that I'm hoping to go with this company, I'll buy this truck if they give me a good deal on it.
Yeah. Nice truck.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. What's going on with you? You got some new stuff going on or what?
Man.
Starting a new job?
I mean,
New
it's
work?
the same line of work I've been doing. I've been doing granite countertops. Got a big project that just started, doing a huge remodel. It's like there's like $160,000 worth of work there over the course of like 5 months, and between me and like 4 other people. So there's a lot of money there in a 5-month span. But yeah, I mean, other than that, man,
Man, that shit is so heavy.
granite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because so my buddy left moving furniture to go work for a company, like one of my best friends, doing granite when we were right out of high school, a few years out. And on my way home from jobs, sometimes, like if they had a real large piece, he would just call me and be like, hey, on your way home, we got to set this countertop. And
give
we're
us a
setting
hand.
the other ones. Yeah, just swing in when you get a chance. Just to have an extra body there in case anything happens, I can grab it. And I'm small and I was strong, so I was perfect for it. Dude, they did one that was like I want to say it was like an 18-inch overhang, and it was a thick slab of granite, and
Probably
they were
3
having
cm.
to build like custom posts to like give it some type of structure
Yeah.
because it was like they were scared they were going to snap that thing, and we had to carry that thing in. It was so large, dude. It was probably one of the biggest. Like, I've had my ass swept right out from underneath my feet swept right out from underneath me, carrying rough granite pillars.
Yeah.
You know, for like benches and shit like that.
Yeah.
And I tried to pull one up on a walkboard one time when I was a mover, and you know, and right before I hit the walkboard, I tried to give it some extra mustard to kind of like give it a bump and run going up. Bro, it swept my feet right out from underneath me like a giant just hit me in the forehead and knocked me right on my ass. And the fucking two-wheeler came right down and hit me like right in the stomach and crushed my stomach. And all the dudes were just watching me, and they were like, you need some help with that going up the walkboard? And I was just like, I weighed like 120 pounds, dude. I was a little dude. Yeah, but granite, that shit is no joke.
Yeah, it's
You guys got cool dollies and shit like that you move all the stuff with? Or
we use like
old school?
I use like a drywall cart, and then I got a little slab dolly that's like literally just like a thick piece of like rubber plastic in the center with 2 wheels, and like you basically, to take yourself away from having to hold the weight, you just set it on there. You still have to balance it, but you can roll it that way. Makes it a lot easier. But I mean, we're carrying the shit upstairs. It's a pain in the ass, but I'm a pretty big boy, and a lot of it's technique. Yeah. I mean, if you just know how to carry it right, a lot of it's just technique.
Oh, dude, I've outmoved a lot of big guys, especially when you got a dude that you've been moving with for years that you just look at him and you're like, dip. You know, you don't even got to say shit. Like, he just knows where we're at, and if I say anything, he just knows. Like, there's no question about it.
That's how I got into doing granite like fucking years and years ago. Is my brother I was a big kid, and my brother's like, hey, let me show you some technique, and I need you to come help me, and I'll fucking pay you like summer job to come fucking do granite with me. He would do all the, you know, cutting and seaming and all the the difficult work, but it was just like he needed a body, someone that he could trust to carry it, and that's how it got after a while. Is like you'd walk up, and there's certain ways like to tip it and carry it and roll it, and there's different techniques and ways to do it. And if you're with someone who doesn't know that, I mean, you can break the pieces, you can fucking twist your back pretty bad if you pick up with the opposite hand that I'm picking up with, and you like kind of twist it.
Oh yeah, dude,
there's
that's
a lot of
the
issues
biggest
with
thing.
it.
Like, that's why I only move furniture with people that I know what they're doing. Yeah. Because there's nothing worse when you throw your hand on the back of like a piece of furniture like that, a desk, and you put it on the back and you go to tip it back, and the other person tips it the other way, and like you said, you're trying to fight it, and the fucking drawers are falling out, and
you know. Yeah, my brother would just, hey, let's go grab this island, walk out there, and it'd be like, you know, 400-pound island, be like, all right, ready, 1, 2, boom, pick it up and walk. And then like other people would be like, here, take a break, I'll take it. And it's like, it takes longer to move with it, so you're holding the weight for longer. You're fighting against them, so you're twice as much work. Like, just a pain in the ass.
I used to hate watching my dad move. Like, I've done them too, but grand pianos, because they're so awkward, especially when you're going downstairs. And a lot of times,
the shape is just way different.
Yeah, well, you flip them. They're up on their side when they're going down.
Yeah.
So you're flipped, and it's hard because at the top, you're going forward, but you're hunched all the way over, and it's below you. And typically, you got 2 guys on that. And my dad used to stay on the bottom because he's a pretty good size. He's a big guy, and he'd take that all on his chest and go down the stairs backwards with a fucking piano. And then multiple times, dude, where the guys were like just fucking up at the top, and I'd have to leave the room because I was like, dude, I'm gonna watch my dad snap in half.
Yeah.
With a grand piano, like. That job was really wild, and it was funny when I came out here because I didn't realize how skilled we were. Because when we were back home, that's how you did it. You didn't really use a lot of 2-wheelers. You only did that if we were doing office jobs or the hospital, or it was a huge piece of furniture where we had to have a dolly. And 90% of the time, you picked up, like, you kind of had a dude that, like, we just knew. We picked some shit up together. Like, that's how it always worked. So when I came out here and moved, everybody was like throwing shit in what they call speed packs, these big boxes that they'd make and put them on a 4-wheeler and just fill them full of shit. And I'll tell you, the Mexicans could outwork you doing it like that, but the skill back there's no flat ground. So you can't do that shit. You're walking on rock, you're walking on hills. So, dude, that job, it's when I came out here, my uncle or whatever, my aunt's new husband, he had to sell his house or whatever, and he had this huge sleigh. You know what a sleigh bed is? It's like it's a whole bed, all wood, but the frames like all. It's called a sleigh bed.
Yeah, looks like a giant fucking sleigh.
Fucking massive. And he had to get it down out of there, and he was really like stressed out about it, which I didn't understand. And so me and my buddy, he was out here on vacation. We ran over there to pull it out of the house, And he was like, yeah, I don't know, guys, blah, 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 like trying to like
Just gonna
avoid
fucking
it.
sell it with the house.
And I was like, no, we got it. And we ran upstairs, grabbed it, never said 2 words, flew down the stairs with this thing, dipped it, never touched the wall, out the door we went. And I come back in and he's standing there like perplexed. And I'm like, what's wrong, man? And he's like, dude, I hired 2 guys that were twice the size of you. Both of them were twice your size. And he goes, they fucked up my wall so bad going up the stairs, and these guys are supposed to be good movers. They put it into 2 different parts of each corner, and I had to end up paying like $300 in sheetrock, like to have somebody come in and repair it, like $300 bill to repair all the walls. I doubt he paid it. But then 2 young dudes that were, in his eyes, not big enough to carry this thing, whipped down the fucking stairs, never touched the wall.
Yeah.
And he was just like, holy shit. Like, him and I got off to a bad start because he tried to tell me how to move some glass the first time. Like, the first day we got out here, we went and got my furniture from my grandmother's house.
Yeah.
And he helped me with a trailer. And he was like, oh, just put the glass top in here. And I was like, no. And he didn't like that I was trying to, like, we butted heads. And I was like, look, bro, this is what I do. I was like, and this is my shit. So
Yeah.
thanks for helping me, but I'm not listening to you.
Yeah. I know what I'm doing. Just
So we
don't
got
worry
off
about
on
it.
the wrong foot. Now we're cool, but it's because he's like me. He's fucking got to be in charge. It's weird how that shit works out.
Oh man.
You ever got
Button
hit?
heads.
You ever got hit with a dolly
Like in the shins and shit.
or any? Oh,
Yeah.
like what kind of?
I've been-
do
you know what
use
the-
the aluminum, like the squared aluminum ones?
Yeah. Just are you talking about like a 2-wheel dolly?
Yeah, or do you use like the round barred? Like it's just like a
Well,
round pipe.
I've used both for sure. One of the worst though is I got rode up on behind because my buddy had a tall bookshelf type cabinet, but it was kind of fairly narrow. But the bottom that you set it on, the platform, is like thinner metal. It's like 1/8 inch and it's pretty sharp. He fucking nailed me right in the fucking Achilles from behind with like a decent amount of weight on it and like didn't see me there and just ran right into me and that shit fucked my Achilles up bad.
Oh man, the
Yeah.
Achilles is bad.
Oh yeah.
My dad popped his. I don't remember. I think they had a car stuck in a ditch, and my dad was picking the front end of the car up out of the ditch, and they thought they popped a tire.
And it was his Achilles.
He took off walking down the driveway, and my sister was like, what's going on? And they thought they popped a tire. They heard it. Everybody heard it.
Yeah.
And he walked down the driveway and came back, and he had to go to the hospital, and it was his Achilles.
Did it like ball up in his calf?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Damn.
And that fucking guy moved furniture like that. It got to the point where they wouldn't let him up to walkboard, I think. Probably try to prevent him going up to walkboard, so he just set it on the end of the truck. I have this picture of my dad. We're Polish, or there's a lot of
Got
Polak
some
in
Polish
us.
in me.
And they sent me a picture one year of my dad, and the caption read "Polak snowblower," and it was my dad outside on the porch, leaned over with a hairdryer, not plugged into the wall, pointing it at the fucking snowbank. And it was like the Polish snowblower. And fucking, dude, I couldn't stop laughing. But he's such a funny guy. He's a good guy.
Or like how many Polacks does it take to screw in a light bulb? 1 to hold the bulb and 2 to spin the ladder.
Yeah, man. We're fucking efficient, bro. We get shit done the right way. So, yeah. I had a little incident with a 2-wheeler once. It was kind of cold out. It's like getting into wintertime. We were at Dartmouth College. We had the little high cube vans. We had just finished doing some shit, and the truck was open, so I picked up the dolly, and it was one of those squared off aluminum like mover ones. And all right, only one crash. That's okay. So anyway, back to the story real quick. We're going to finish this up so we can finish the podcast up. I picked up the aluminum 2-wheeler, and I stuck it into the truck, like standing upward, and put it in there. And as I did it, the lady walked around the corner, and she started to talk to me or whoever she was talking to. And when she did, I didn't realize that when I set it in, it like teetered forward and it fucking rocked back off the truck. And I turned to start talking to her, and the whole aluminum, everything came down and smoked me right across the face, dude. And I was like, oh, and I just shriveled down. It didn't knock me out. I can't believe it didn't knock me out, but it was so cold that it took 2 seconds for it to sink in.
Yeah.
And I just tucked down and kind of put my head between my knees, and I was just and I started almost crying, and the lady was like, what is wrong with you? And she just walked past me and started talking to the next guy. And dude, I was rocked. I had these 2 lines across my face that were bruised for like a week. And I did the same thing. I jumped out of a truck one time and I thought the door was all the way open, like one of the big moving trucks. It was early. We were going to some job out of town, my dad and I, and he's filling it up with diesel. And I put my arm on the door thinking it's all the way open, you know, and it's a big drop out of those trucks. So I like put my arm on it and I go to like hop out and brace myself. Wasn't all the way open. It was only at that like first tilt port, like when you open a door, there's 2 parts.
Yeah, yeah.
It opened the rest of the way. So like I fell forward toward the door and then it like hit the spot where it stops and it launched back at me and the edge of the door hit me square like this in the eye. Again, it's freezing cold out, like negative. Splits my eyebrow, my eyelid, and below my eye. Splits the skin and I'm bleeding down into my eye. And my dad's laughing hysterically at me. Thinks it's the funniest shit in the world.
Me too.
And I'm so fucking mad. I'm like, it's not funny. And I'm like starting to cry, bro. It was like getting hit with a hammer in the face, dude.
Is that that scar? Is that what that is?
I don't know. There could be a little scar right there from it,
Yeah.
dude. It rocked my shit so bad, and I couldn't go in there. And all I wanted was beef jerky and chew. And I was like, Dad, just go get me some beef jerky and chew. And
So he bought you the fake chew that is beef jerky?
He combined them for me. It was a good guy. No, we used to fucking chew sleeves of chew on the road, bro. Grizzly.
Damn.
Right when the Grizzly came out
How
for
many packs are in a
79
sleeve?
cents.
Like
I
8?
think like 8, yeah.
Yeah.
And it was like 79 cents a tin.
Wow.
And bro, that was the raw. That was like the raw cut shit. That was the good stuff. They put
Yeah.
extra fiberglass in there. A little
Oh,
sprinkle.
yeah.
Salt Bay was in there with the fiberglass.
I remember hearing stories up in Minnesota, like my brothers and family shit that's from up there. There would be like some of I think one of the richest tribes that has like the largest like residual whatever income, you know, as a Native American tribe is up there, and they would like cut like in between their toes. So it was like an open wound, and they'd like pack chew into it while they were in like high school and shit, because like they wanted to like get a buzz going during class. So I don't know if that's all folktale or what. But that's
bro.
fucking crazy.
I think they probably did, and that's badass. And you know, all those kids that thought they were slick putting like tampons of booze up their butt, bro, you're weak sauce. Cut some fucking slits in your toes in your web area. And pack some chew in there.
Chew in there.
A little gunpowder and cocaine, Bo. And go right to school. Get it done. Drop a LSD, and when it soaks down through the chew.
So wait, what is the gunpowder and cocaine thing? Because I've heard that before.
I don't.
Was that like a thing that you did? I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Or not you personally, but like is that a thing people did? Like
That's what the fuck?
or is that
was the
just
guy
like a
s-
saying because they're both
Remember
powder?
the second Hangover? And he's like, "Why is this rooster so pissed off?" He's like, "I only feed him cocaine."
Oh yeah.
It was like gunpowder and cocaine. That's what they feed those things back in the day. The chickens, the fighting dogs, they put cocaine and gunpowder or whatever on their steak and throw it in there, a raw steak. I don't know. I just watch movies, bro.
Yeah, that's
I
just
watch
it's all like
movies.
folklore type
Yeah,
shit.
and I believe all that shit. So it's like whatever. But I don't know.
believe all that shit.
Do we have anything else?
Man, I don't think so. We've been going for like a good hour and a half or something,
All
right?
right. Well, I don't know. Let's do a closeout. Thank you for all the people that listen on YouTube, our YouTube viewership, Spotify listeners, Apple listeners, anybody on their own podcast app that they're using. If you're catching us on Facebook, thank you for watching. Share this.
Thank you, guys.
Like it, send it to somebody. Don't like it, say some shit about it.
Thumbs down it.
Whatever you want to do,
Everything.
man. We appreciate it. It's, two guys that get to hang out. If you got anything cool for the podcast or any stories that I'm forgetting or I'm not telling to its justice, hit me up. Let me know so I can improve on that.
Yeah, as always, send us any suggestions too. Any topics.
One of these days they're gonna, and we're gonna be like, stop sending suggestions.
Yeah, that's all right. I'd rather be able to filter through them than not get them.
That's true. Well, Dakota, thank you for coming out today. I appreciate it, my
Hell yeah,
friend. We didn't do the Copper Cup Club today. Look at that, I said it.
Yeah.
But Keegs Kota, episode 4, signing out. Thanks for coming.
Have fun, be safe, don't fall.
Yeah, don't fall.